and welcome to your seated practice today. We're going to do a bit of a more challenging sequence, so I just want to go through a few health and safety things to bear in mind before we begin our practice. So you will need a very sturdy chair today. We're going to get up from our chair and use it to lean on and put our body weight on. So please make sure that you've got a nice sturdy chair that's on a really safe surface too. You might want to think about getting maybe some grippy socks. I've got my grippy yoga socks on and they will be really helpful against the chair that I've got today so I don't slip. So make sure if you haven't got grippy socks, bare feet are probably best. Please don't do anything that doesn't feel right in your body, and if you need to make something smaller, please do and go ahead with that. You know your body best. Okay, let's begin. We're going to begin in our goddess pose. We're going to take our legs out just to the side, toes facing out on the diagonal, and knees to be over our ankles, making sure our posture is nice and aligned. And we're going to be probably sitting a bit closer to the edge of our seat on this occasion, so don't sit too far back. We're going to take our gaze down just for a moment to keep ourselves able to focus on our breath and keep ourselves grounded. So just take your gaze, lower it down, you can close your eyes or you can just lower your gaze to the floor. Some nice breaths through the nose. And just find a moment to arrive in our practice. Okay, we're going to take our hands into heart centre. Opening our arms up to the ceiling and open to our cactus arms. And repeat coming in. Using that energy of force in between our arms as we lower them down. So really pushing them together, pushing them up and together. Taking our arm from our right, so we're going to tip down to the side into our goddess twist. Making our palm meet our ankle joint on the inside, our hand in the centre looking up to the ceiling. If this feels like a bit too much for you, that's absolutely fine. You can just come up to a level that is appropriate for your body. Just having a nice side stretch here. To our cactus, rotating the other way, so bringing the arm into the side of the leg, stretching a hand out, and taking our gaze up to our hand in the centre. Back up to cactus, we'll go once more, coming down. This should feel slightly easier than the first time now, as our body is now warmed up on this side slightly. And back into cactus. And down. Stretching it up. And bring our arms to cactus, back to rest on our thighs. We're now going to take a forward fold in this position. You might want to bring your legs slightly in, if this is comfortable for you. You can just take a really simple forward fold with the head down to the chest, or you can follow me and we start to fold forward into the middle, centre through our legs, let our head hang, our hands hang in the middle. Give your head a shake and a nod, just to make sure that there's no tension in your neck. And we're really relaxing our upper body here. Make sure you continue breathing, so nice deep breaths, before slowly raising up through every vertebrae in our body to restack that spine, at last back into our neutral goddess pose position. We're now going to look at our eagle arms, so we're going to take our hands out, and we're going to cross our hands over. We're going to put the right over the top, twist our palms towards us. Your first option here is to just bring your fingertips to your shoulders, and if this feels like enough, then you can leave them there. And if you'd like to twist the arms around, meeting the palms together, you're also able to do that, or back to back if that's also something that's better for you. This should really loosen some tension and a bit of a stretch in the back of our shoulders. If you're not feeling much of a stretch here, you can start to rise the elbows up to meet more of your level of your chin, and this will give you a deeper stretch as well. And slowly unwind wherever you're at and drop them down to your side. We're going to go up again, and this time the left arm is going to go on top. Variation, twisting the palms up. Variation 1 is putting your fingertips to your shoulders. We can then go back of hands to back of hands, or you can stretch around and bring your fingers to your palms. One side might feel more easy than the other, and this is absolutely fine and completely normal, so don't worry if one side was a bit easier. And slowly untwisting those arms and dropping to the side. We're going to go again just to give those shoulders a nice, so right hand over the top this time, and to whatever variation is best for you. Just to give those shoulders a really nice stretch out. The first time it's a good stretch, the second time we go back, we then be able to solidify that a bit more. And release. And across the other side, left hand on top this time. Rotate into your variation that you feel comfortable doing. And unwind and release down. So now we can start to move from the chair. So you'll need a bit of space either side, and as we go along to stretch our legs out. You will have the chair for each position, so don't be afraid to use the chair if you aren't used to getting up from the chair for our seated practice. So here we go. We're going to go to our warrior pose. So taking this leg a bit further away to the side. We're going to go left leg first, I think. And we're going to stretch our leg out behind us. So you're going to need to be quite on the edge of your seat. So just our bum cheeks are rested on there, supporting us. We're not holding that whole weight of the warrior ourselves. Make sure your knee and your ankle are aligned here, and your toes are facing in this direction. The back leg, our toes are actually facing forward, and the aim is to get the middle of our arch of our foot in line with the heel of our foot on this side. And so we're going to take this pose, we're going to take our warrior arms, pressing up and over, and really resting the weight of those. If someone was to come and push them, you wouldn't be able to push them down. So we're really strong, and we're being really good, strong warriors. Really using our breath here. Keeping those legs nice and engaged, as well as those arms, keep our posture nice and straight, not sitting with our shoulders into our neck, relaxing those shoulders down, a nice stretched neck, gazing forward, gaze straight ahead. Really nice and strong. We're going to take this back now, putting our hand on our right hand on the back of our right leg, taking our palm to face upwards, bringing, I like to call it, bringing the sun up with us, looking up at our palm, putting some weight onto the back of our hand here, not too much, but just giving a little bit of a moment. If you want a bit of an extra stretch, you can move your hand further down to bring yourself back, but absolutely fine to just sit here on the thigh and take a focus up for me. Make sure you're still breathing. And bringing those back to warrior. Lovely. Before bringing our leg back, twisting back round and paddling our feet back into our goddess pose. We're now going to take our downward dog. So we have to move from our chair this time. So we're going to rotate round to the side, and we're going to take a bit of a distance between our chair and where our feet are planted. You might get into a position and want to move around a bit. We're going to aim for our feet to be hip distance apart, toes facing directly forward, knees slightly bent, bit of a softer knee. We're going to lean forward on our forward fold, and I'll just show you what we're going to be aiming for today, and then we will try it all together. So you might want to put your hands in the middle of your chair or just on the edge. Either is absolutely fine, and you're going to ultimately try to get a nice stretch back as you lean down into your downward dog, with our back of our legs feeling a nice stretch, as well as open shoulders at the top of our body as well. So you might want to take a bit of a further step back and lean more in. Equally, you can bring yourself closer and have a nice relaxing of some sort of stretch here as well. So whatever is right for you and your body, remember everything's an invitation, never an instruction here. So let's just take a few long breaths here. Absolutely fine to bend the knees and take more focus onto the shoulders, or straightening the knees and having a bit of a push into the back of the legs. Whatever is best for you here. We do prefer to have a bit of a softer knee nowadays in the yoga practice, but whatever is best. So let's just take some deep breaths here. When we're ready, we're just going to rise ourselves up slightly, step the left foot forward. You might have to renegotiate your hands again. We're just going to take a nice side stretch forward. So bending over, not too far from where we've just been, and just taking a nice stretch on our side here with our one leg further forward. Both feet and toes facing forward. Yet again, you can take softly and a deeper stretch in your body, or you can take a nice lean and more straight legs. Absolutely what's best for you. Great, stepping that foot back to our downward dog again, in the position that you found best for you. And we're going to walk our feet forward towards our chair. And restacking our spine, ready for our next pose. Great. Okay, the last pose for this side before we repeat it all on the other side. We're going to take our left leg, we're going to plant it in the middle of our chair. You might want to come closer or further away. So just measure that out, how that feels for your chair, whether you want to be close or whether you would like to be further away with a bit more of a deeper lunge. This is what we're looking at, the lunge now. So you decide whatever's best for you, and once you're ready and in the right position for you, we're going to take our arms, stretching them right up and holding this with a few deep breaths. Making sure your knee is in line with your ankle, whatever pose you've taken. So hold it there, and I'll just talk you through, if you're doing a bit of a deeper lunge, how that might look for you. So this is a bit of a deeper lunge. If you're doing this is absolutely fine. And if you're also doing a bit of a closer lunge, this too is good. So it's a nice deep breath there, grounding into our lunge pose. Okay, and relaxing those arms down, taking our foot off. And coming back to our seated position. Starting in our goddess pose. So we're now going to take the right leg slightly out and stretch the left leg out to the side. Remember to be slightly sat on the edge of your seat. Toes, knee and in line with ankle, toes facing this direction, and our back leg, toes are facing forward. The aim is that our ankle is in line with the middle of our arch of our foot. And once we're ready and we feel planted and grounded, you can then take your arms up, gaze straight forward, and reaching towards the wall with our gaze in that direction too. Nice strong stance in our warrior pose. And when we're ready, we're going to put the hand on the back of the left leg. Remember, this can be on the back of the thigh or the back of the calf. And we're going to bring the sun up to the centre as we take a look above us and make sure we're breathing. Lovely. And back to our warrior pose. Coming round now, we're going to walk to the left hand side, back to our goddess pose, sorry, and then we're going to walk round back to our left hand side, and we're going to go into our downward dog now. So remember, feet hip width distance apart, however feels good for you. planting your hands either flat to the front of the chair or to the side, whatever works, making sure you've aligned yourself ready before entering the downward dog variation. Some nice deep breaths here. Toes facing forward, weight distributed. Remember, you can have soft knees here or straightened knees. We're aiming to bring our armpits towards the floor, releasing and opening those shoulder blades. Make sure your shoulders aren't to your ears. You've got a room between your ears and your neck. Nice deep breaths. If you're really wanting to challenge yourself, every time you take an inhale and then when you exhale, give yourself an opportunity to lower yourself further down into your stretch. Wherever you are, you're doing great. Coming up slightly, we're going to take our back leg, which is the right leg for me, taking it forward, readjusting our stretch, and taking a nice side stretch, bend forward. However is best for you here. Toes facing forward. Inhaling and exhaling. Stepping our left foot to meet our right foot, restacking our spine, rolling up nice and slowly. We're going to take our right foot now into our lunge pose. So however you felt fit was for you for the best time, fit for you the first time, you can do exactly the same again. So placing our foot in the middle, you might want to be in a nice simple lunge, or you can take your legs a bit further apart and take it as a bit of a deeper lunge. Absolutely fine, whatever you feel is best for you and your body. Everything's invitation, not an instruction. So reaching our arms up and taking that lunge, making sure our knee is in line with our ankle, toes facing forward, feeling a little bit of a stretch on that foot that's planted into the ground. Really relaxing our shoulders, looking straight ahead on our gaze. Posture really engaged here. Some nice deep breaths. If you're feeling like you're in a position where you're like, okay, this feels okay, take a deep breath, and when you exhale, just take it a little bit further into the stretch. Making sure your alignment and your knee and your ankle are still in line. If you need to readjust at any point, feel free to do so. And relaxing our arms down, stepping the foot back off, and coming back into our chair, into a sit back position. We're just going to take a minute, really sit back in your chair now, really allow your back to rest into the back of your chair. And we're just going to place our hands forward towards our knees, and we're just going to take our gaze down for a second. Taking some nice deep inhales and some exhales. Great, just bring your focus back up and sitting in our upright position. Still able to be quite far back in your chair. We're just going to do some cat-cows. So just bringing your fingertips to your edge of your knees, bringing your shoulders over and rounding our backs. Really imagining that someone is punching into your stomach. You're really pulling everything back, belly button into spine. And then back the other way, bringing elbows in, pulling those palms back towards our hips, and we're looking up towards the sun that's in front of us, lifting up through our chest, and slowly flowing through, and in your own time, back in the other way. Bring those elbows into our side of our bodies, looking up at the sun, and back. And through. And returning back to our neutral spine. practicing with us today. Goodbye.